Hello, class of 2024, and welcome to Skidmore College. It has been my privilege to serve as the college's president for the last 17 years, and I've welcomed the same number of classes into our Skidmore family. However, I've never done one like this before. To be sure, this moment is different, but not just for the reasons you might expect. Since I will retire from the college this summer, this is my last chance to welcome a new Skidmore class. And so for me, the opportunity to share this message is not only different, but very special. This moment is also inherently distinct because it's about you. Your passions and pursuits will ultimately determine the future of this campus community, what we call a community of communities or sometimes a community of individuals. That said, we must acknowledge the current circumstances confronting our world. While I would much prefer to be welcoming you here on campus in person, the situation we face with COVID-19 unfortunately takes that option off the table. But let's not focus on what we can't do. Let's focus on what we can. And what I can do is share my perspective of why Skidmore is a great choice for you to call home in the coming years, a perspective I'd like to think I'm uniquely suited to deliver after nearly 2 decades at this incredible institution. And you know, let me just say, I'm actually pretty optimistic that we will be back to something of a more normal existence in the fall. Of course, none of us knows now. But the projections that we see for the trajectory of this virus all pretty much have things leveling out or improving considerably by August. So let's hope that's what it is. We are planning for all kinds of contingencies here, of course, but I am optimistic that in welcoming you to Skidmore, I will be welcoming you to come to a college that will be back in action in the fall. So my goal today is to give you as much information as I can in a relatively brief period of time to help you make your choice. You know, selecting a college is not like buying a bicycle or a vacuum cleaner. It's more like falling in love with somebody. It's a relationship. One size does not fit all. There's a specific match for you. And so the real question is, how do you feel about spending 4 years at Skidmore? How does it feel to you in your gut? Some of you have already decided that you're going to come here, so you are already in the class of 2024. To you, welcome. We're glad you're here. We're glad that you've made that decision. Others of you are still considering your options, and that's fine. But what I want to do today is talk to you, not so much as a prospective student or a family, but as someone who really has chosen to come to Skidmore for the next 4 years. So let me talk about what you're going to find here. First, let me talk about a commitment, because when you come here, we do make a commitment to you. We've accepted you for membership in the class of 2024 for one reason. We fully believe you can succeed. We don't accept any student who we don't think has what it takes to thrive at Skidmore. More than that, we commit to being a college that inspires, challenges, and supports the highest levels of excellence for all of our students, not just for many of them, but for everybody. And that is our goal for you. So what does it mean to say that we're committed to your success at Skidmore? Academically, it means we're going to welcome you into a community of excellence, and we will do our part to help you achieve levels of excellence that you probably can't even imagine right now. We are committed as well to being the most inclusive community we can possibly be. Every student who arrives here should feel as though this is their college. You should feel that you fully belong here, that you are a member of our community. And as a corollary, we're committed to helping you find your individual pathway through your 4 years at Skidmore. We say that there's no one privileged way, no sort of archetype that captures what it is to be a Skidmore student. There are as many different ways to be a Skidmore student as there are students. And financially, if you're on financial aid, we are committed to helping you graduate without crushing debt. Our average student debt is well below the national student average, and we manage that. We also are committed to helping you prepare for your future, and your future out there in the world of work is going to be a pretty interesting place. About the only constant is change, and the pace of change seems to be accelerating every year. We are in a moment of profound change in our nation and truly around the world. What might our experience be like when we come through this haze of the global pandemic? I don't really know, but I do know it will be an environment primed for creative thinkers. Even without the effects of COVID-19 in mind, research shows that the average person, the average graduate, will probably change careers 8 or 9 times throughout their working life. And I'm not talking about jobs, I'm talking about careers. And some of those careers haven't even been invented yet. So you have to be able to navigate that world. What do you need to do to be able to do that? And how can Skidmore help? First, you need to learn how to continue to learn. You have to be learning your entire life, and that's something that we will help you learn how to do here. Second, you need to be able to read broadly and deeply, and to write well, and to communicate well. These are core tenets of the liberal arts education, like the ones so many students have received from Skidmore. Third, you need to be able to think critically, to ask the tough questions, to ask the questions someone else isn't asking. We don't just allow you to challenge the status quo here, we expect you to do it. But the world of the 21st century isn't just marked by change, but by new kinds of complexity. Author David Epstein, whose book Range, Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World, talks about wicked problem domains. These are domains in which not all the relevant information is available when you have to make a decision, so you have to make decisions under conditions of uncertainty. As opposed to a domain like, say, chess, in a wicked domain, the rules are unclear or non-existent. Typically, you're dealing with dynamic situations that involve other people, and the feedback you get from your actions is not automatic, and it may be partial, it may even be inaccurate. So think about the kinds of wicked, global-scale problems we are facing today. Climate change, the coming second industrial revolution driven by artificial intelligence, the implications of our digital environment, which we haven't figured out how to regulate yet, and of course what we're living through right now, the COVID-19 pandemic. These public policy challenges are multidimensional and multidisciplinary. They involve questions of science, social science, economics, politics, religion, philosophy, all kinds of different disciplines, and they cannot be addressed by thinking in just one field. So to thrive in a world that's defined by these and other such large-scale, complex, wicked issues, you will need to understand how different disciplines create knowledge in their own unique ways and how to make connections across those different disciplines. You're going to have to think creatively. Creative thought matters more in the 21st century than ever before. So what I want you to know is that interdisciplinarity and cross-disciplinary understanding and creativity are in Skidmore's DNA. Our faculty members, of course, are experts in their own areas, but they also appreciate the value of other disciplines other than their own, and they are very good at helping students make connections across disciplinary boundaries. For their part, Skidmore students too are notable for their eclectic interests, making unexpected combinations of double majors, majors and minors, and more informal connections as well. Here are some real examples: chemistry and dance, mathematics and music, business and English, political science and French, economics, Spanish, and religious studies, and on and on and on. And in this future that I've described, your future, success will go to those who bring their own creative thought to their work. They will be the leaders for change that we need to leave this world a better place than we found it. At Skidmore, creative thought matters is not just a phrase on our admissions materials. It is really in our DNA. We understand it, we live it, and we know that every significant human achievement, every achievement across the history of humankind, involved the spark of imagination, the ability to look at a problem in a new way, the capacity to bring to bear information from some completely different area, the ability not just to answer a question, but to question the previous answers. Developing these skills and abilities is what we think of as the heart of the Skidmore experience. We'll also provide you very specific opportunities that will be relevant to your professional life: internships, study abroad experiences, independent and collaborative research opportunities, something we call our summer educational experiences beyond campus. We call them See Beyond Awards. We are also going to talk a lot about responsible citizenship during your time at the college. I think it's fair to say that the world today could use some help. And when you guys graduate, you're going to have to be part of that effort to make it better than it is today. Our goal is to have every person who graduates from the college be prepared to be an informed, responsible citizen. In your 4 years at Skidmore, we are going to expect you to take an active interest in the political life of your country, and we will do our best to help you do that. Before I close here, I have an aspiration for you that I'd like to share. Fewer than 40% of Americans have an undergraduate degree, and about 7% of the world's population has a BA or the equivalent. Fewer than 3% of students in the United States who are attending college have the opportunity to attend a small liberal arts college like Skidmore. In short, by earning admission to Skidmore College, you will have access to opportunities that are afforded to a relatively small proportion of the world's population, a tiny proportion. So the question is, how will you put those opportunities that you've been given to good use? Not just for your own personal gain, which is important, but also to leave the world a better place. I challenge you at Skidmore to find your own personal cause, your cause on campus, and then your cause for the rest of your life, the way that you are going to improve this planet for all of us. I can think of no better place than Skidmore to realize these aspirations. We look forward to seeing you this fall and getting to work.